almost ready. Just wait for Mark to get his slow ass out here. Woo. Let's go. Yeah.
Follow your guide.
Okay. This is the start of the Classique 2022. It's an annual event that brings together a bunch of off-road riders, ADV riders, just north of Montreal, about an hour north of Montreal, in a place called Le Chute. So you can see here we're just at the starting line, and in fact we're pretty much just getting ready to go. I'm in a group that we're doing what's called the Classique Plus, which is a mix of dirt roads, a little bit of on-road that kind of connects the dirt roads, and then some very little, let's say, off-road stuff, not doing any single track things. So here actually we're on, pretty much this was kind of the roughest stuff that we saw for the day. It's not what we're usually used to doing, but it's a big event. It's not necessarily about the whole ride and everything, but it was more about the camaraderie and, you know, just getting to know some new people. So I'm in a group of, you know, with 9 other people that just met for the first time. Some of the off-road stuff that we were doing. Again, like I said, this was pretty easy. We were with a group of a lot of people that were on 1200 GSs. So, you know, the type of off-road that, you know, most of them are used to. This is kind of the most that they'd want to do. Here we'll see up in a second here where the group is just waiting for, kind of just making sure everyone was together. So you can see there's some big bikes, and the sweeper actually that's behind me, he's on a 1200 as well. So the majority of the group, like I said, were on these big bikes. There was only myself and 2 other that are on smaller bikes. There was one person on a 250, another person on a 500, and then I was on the 700. So pretty easy stuff to do, you know, for some off-road things. And the other thing that I noticed is that this is the first time I've really ridden this bike with a larger group. that the speed of the group is actually much slower than, let's say, what we're normally used to. So this was one of the rare times that I probably got the bike into second gear on some of these trails. So it was rather interesting. It was a very interesting perspective, and being out with a group on a group ride with some big bikes. But like I said from the beginning, this was not necessarily about, you know, doing some aggressive riding and really challenging ourselves with the ride. It was more about, you know, learning about maybe some new trails, some new areas, meeting some new people, and just getting kind of a feel for what this whole event, the Classique, is all about. What we did learn, though, was that the Classique Plus is probably geared more towards the bigger bikes, so that you can get some of this, let's say, you know, trails in, but it's not your whole day. Whereas I think the next level up, I think, is what we're going to try next year, which is much more off-road, a lot of stuff probably where you have to get off the bike and probably help some other people, you know, pull bike through mud. So I think that's going to be much more interesting for us doing that next year. So I think we're getting near the tail end of really kind of the off-road section. We'll just take it from there.
And your helmet is,
Yeah.
yep,
Thanks a lot.
good, good.
There is a gas station not too far up ahead as well.
We need Brenda, eh?
Yeah, not too far.
Okay.
Are we far from the far west where we're going for lunch?
I would say 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Okay, I'll get enough gas.
Okay. I've got plenty of gas. Like, I got extra gas in this thing.
And they're going to sell some over there.
And if you got your Newfie credit card, we also have
Oh,
Exxon
yeah.
Valdez sized tanks.
You just need a hose to siphon it.
Sorry,
For
I'm
the
just
first,
looking up my
for the
watch.
first hour and a half, the weapon kept going up.
Here, one of the guys who was on the 500 has a pretty small gas tank, and I think about 15 minutes before this stop, we actually drove by a gas station. The leader actually went to him and said, "Hey, do you need to fill up on gas?" And he was like, "No, I'm good." And then he ran out of gas.
New rule. At intersections, wait till you can see the person behind you, please.
Yeah. Did someone get lost?
We had to stop for fuel.
Well, that's not bad.
What is you running away from the bugs? What are you doing?
Yeah, like, here, it's not too bad, actually.
If they're coming after you, don't come near me. So this stop was for two purposes, just a little break, but also we had to have a communication check. One of the cardinal rules when you are riding with the group is you're always making sure you can see the person behind you. So you are responsible for the rider that's behind you. So if you come up to a fork in the road, you need to make sure that the rider behind you actually sees you and sees which direction you're going. So they're just doing a bit of a reminder, just because our group got split up a couple of times.
We'll be at lunch within an hour, for sure.
You didn't feel like using a kickstand?
I always wanted to do that. My first time doing it.
So are we gonna have to get a rope out now to get you out of there?
Je sais pas. Va attendre d'avoir un peu de place en avant. Fun part.
Yeah. We're like, what the hell?
Je vais pas t'aider. Mon accident, je peux pas, c'est dans mon contrat.
Correct. Fais juste te mettre en arrière pour recevoir la boîte.
Ouais, ça va faire comme un mur, puis ça va pousser la moto. OK.
Jesus Christ.
Good? Everybody fit?
So we're pretty much nearing the end of the morning. We're probably in the last 10 minutes before we're getting to our lunch stop, where you'll just see kind of a whole group of bikes together, where they sort of had, we had about a half hour, an hour for lunch before we then hopped on the route on the way back. But this is just a great view, sort of where we are, all these bikes. Excellent day. Can't wait to do it next year.